It's a bird! It's a plane! It's the Tog II! Howdy folks, this is Tork from Subject Neutral, and welcome to Torky Tuesday. The video you're watching now is just going to be a couple replays of me rolling around in my Tog II. By the time this video is going to come out, it will be a sad day indeed, because Wargaming has decided in their infinite wisdom to no longer sell Tog IIs, which is a shame. Because it's not a good tank. It's really, you can sum it up as a bad tank with a good gun. But it's a shame because the Tog is quite the character in the whole World of Tanks lore, I guess you could call it. It's due to it's gotten this reputation mostly due to its rather boat-ish size. Like, look, it's practically the length of that house. But yeah, it's quite the character in the whole war gaming bit because because a lot of people have poked fun at this tank. There's quite a few tanks. Oh my god, sorry. Yes, there is quite a few tanks that Tog has to go up against, but there's quite a few jokes that have essentially been, every time a Tog pops up into a match, people start spewing out these jokes. So, a few that I've never heard of before, but I think they've been in. I've seen them in chat. Some of them. I'd make a joke about the Tog, but it'd be too long. Hey Tog, you picking me up for school? And with the whole World of Warships addition to the Wargaming universe, jokes like World of Warships needs their Togs back. And essentially there's a few more jokes that pick on it, saying that it's a whale out of water, and a bunch of row, row, row my Tog gently through the team, Mary, 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 listen to your screams, and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of cliche like Tog Asic Park. A few others like the Tog is so long that a T-50 can use it as a landing strip. And Togs should stick together. There's been quite a few jokes online with play on words about the Tog. A joke, actually, I kind of came up with it, was never challenge a Tog to a race. Answer? You can't beat something that is both on the start and finish line. And then there's other ones that are very similar to that. Let me see here. Why are the Togs so long? To hold all the bad Tog jokes. And there are a lot of bad Tog jokes. Revenge of the Togs. Oh yeah, like Tog to you bitches later. And yeah, there's quite a few jokes. I'm pretty sure you just type in Tog 2 jokes like I have. I just brought up the first, the Wargaming forum on the whole subject of Tog. But yeah, I'm pretty sure lots of people have seen all the jokes that people come up with. But yeah. I can't remember if I get him or not. It's gonna be close. And I'm aiming for his turret, a weak spot, hoping that I can get it. And he's at 5%, and I blow up. Okay, so that's that. I'll probably go on to the next replay and probably go over some of why the Tog is so, and why it's so long, and why it's a bad tank with a good gun. And we're back on Sand River. So as you can see, the Tog is quite the slow beast. This speed has both an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage, it can fire on the move pretty damn accurately. Due to its fast loading, accurate gun. Well, it's fairly accurate, and the high penetration of the 17-pounder. Essentially, you can keep on moving and then push certain points. The downside to the speed is, well, kind of obvious, is when a certain flank falls, you can't go there to help out at all. It's kind of difficult. But, yeah. Essentially, once you're committed, like in Sand River, there's really only two directions to go. Once you're committed to one section, you kind of have to follow that route out.
The radio man is down. We can only signal nearby vehicles.
So, as you can see, I took quite the huge hit there. That was the KV2 derp gun. So, and they were just blind firing, and they're getting pretty darn accurate. Mind you, I've got my side to them, so it's not that hard at all.
Ricochet.
But, just talking about the Tog. Tog is actually an acronym for a bunch of British generals and engineers that were tasked with designing a tank that would essentially combat all the trench warfare experienced back in World War One in World War Two, because they were the British were thinking, oh, World War Two will just be another World War One.
Penetration.
And so yeah, that's the explanation of the length. Is the length was meant to cross over trenches. The Tog II actually, well, the Tog I was a traditional, well, more of a conventional diesel engine, and just connected with a transmission and whatnot. The Tog II, which is this guy, has actually a generator that powers two motors, and that's what gives it propulsion forward and moving across the battlefield. But it essentially had the same problems that Porsche ran into when he built his version of the Tiger tank, which the motors would have a tendency to catch on fire when they were running at higher RPM. But yes, the gun's good on the tank. It's the type of tank it's the type of tank where it can push certain positions. It doesn't have the armor to protect it, but it has the ability to have still a very accurate gun while on the move. And a gun that has very good penetration values, though it sort of lacks in the damage department. As a quick reload, so that's always a bonus. Yeah. So essentially that's that's the Tog. Slow tank, a slow bad tank with a good gun. And it's always a pain when you experience stuff like this, where that was yeah, that one did bounce off our butt. As you can see too, essentially the Tog has 75 millimeters of armor plating all the way around. If you've noticed on the rear end, where all the generators are, you can notice that it's thinner, because that is actually less protected. I actually managed, when I was fighting another Tog, the poor Tog was heading into position, and I was in my VK30P, which that is a great tank. Gets the 88 millimeter, has crap all for armor, but it's really good. It's essentially the VK30P is a tank destroyer. But with that 88 gun, it becomes a cross between a brawler and a sniper. And I managed to essentially kill a Tog in, I believe it was 2 shots. One hit his track, stopping him, and then I think he took 2 more shells, which helped. And then I shot through that engine compartment, and yeah, it essentially set him on fire. And then that's when I was like, oh geez, that's interesting, and I actually looked close at the tank, and yeah, that spot is less armored. So it's always good to know, keep your ass covered when you're driving around in one of these bad boys. It's always great when there's a couple Togs in these matches, because then it's like an unstoppable slow train of death. Like, I know Jingles, he likes his Tog, and he's done some Tog tunes with Quickie Baby and oh crap, I can't remember his name. Oh, that's pretty shitty of me. But yeah, I've seen them just roll around on these, and all 3 of them are an unstoppable train of death with their Togs. One thing I should have done, thinking back at this, I should have told the Wolverine there to go start capping. Even though I don't think we'd have enough time. Come over, Red Rover. Of course, this Wolverine coming, I managed to put a shot on him. He's gonna come, and I honestly think that Wolverine, that Wolverine tried to ram that KV2 with no avail. It was kind of a lost game. I think he only had 3 shells left, and his ram was out of desperation. But yeah, howdy folks, this is probably going to be the last replay, and just as a little send up, I saved this replay just because I'm a bit of an artillery player, starting to really get into the French and British artillery. But yeah, some days artillery can have a really bad day, and you know what? The Tog is an artillery magnet, and I did get their attention, but I'll just let it play, and you guys can see. that's that. That's all she wrote.